This is the morning of the 13th of November. Clip put up by Tennessee Brando. Trump's term just got nuked by new Epstein files. Let's have a listen.
So we had some more breaking news when it comes to the Epstein files. And folks, every time we get this type of breaking news, I say to myself, is this finally going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back? But these stories always break. We all react. We all go, holy crap, how is this reality? And then it just seems like they fade away because something happens and everybody just looks in another direction. And that's where we've been going pretty much ever since Trump got reelected, but also since Elon dropped the bomb and said that Trump is in the files. It's just been one distraction after another. But I say we cannot get distracted. We have got to stay focused and stay on point. So I'm going to be reading you this article here about these new emails that leaked, and it's pretty damn disturbing. And if you are one of the people who got behind Trump because you thought he was going to expose the deep state and drain the swamp, he is the deep state, he is the swamp. I'm convinced of that. There's just, at this point, there's no way that anyone could pretty much convince me otherwise. And don't give me, well, he was down there trying to make sure he was being an undercover agent. No, this ain't a Charlie Daniels song, and if you get that joke, you can be my friend. But anyway, let's bring this one up.
This guy should wear long sleeve shirts. I mean, he's completely sleeved. I'm sure he's got them all over his body, too. There's something wrong with people that do that to themselves, I think.
Here from the New York Times, okay? So, Epstein alleged in emails that Trump knew of his conduct. In a message obtained by Congress, the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein wrote that Donald Trump spent hours at his house with one of Epstein's victims. Yeah, folks. House Democrats on Wednesday released emails in which Jeffrey Epstein wrote that Donald Trump had spent hours at my house with one of Epstein's victims, among other messages that suggested that the convicted sex offender believed that Trump knew more about his abuse than he acknowledged. Mr. Trump has empathetically denied any involvement in or knowledge of Mr. Epstein's sex trafficking operation. He has said that he and Mr. Epstein, the disgraced financier who died by suicide in federal prison in 2019, were once friendly but had a falling out. He also said it's because he took an underage girl from his spa, and that one somehow just got swept under the rug too. But Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, I'll talk right here in a minute, said the emails which they selected from thousands of pages of documents received by their panel raised new questions about the relationship between the two men. In one of the messages, Mr. Epstein flatly asserted that Mr. Trump knew about the girls, many of whom were later found by investigators to have been underage. In another, Epstein pondered how to address questions from the news media about their relationship as Trump was becoming a national political figure. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The messages are certain to inflame the debate on Capitol Hill over the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files and top officials' decisions to backtrack on a promise to fully release them. That issue, which has split Republicans and alienated some of Trump's right-wing supporters, had faded into the background as the government shutdown dragged on. But the House is set to return on Wednesday to clear legislation to end the shutdown and is likely to shift back to the Epstein matter. These latest emails and correspondence raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding and the nature of the relationship between Epstein and the president. The three separate email exchanges released on Wednesday were all from Mr. Epstein's 2008 plea deal in Florida on state charges of soliciting prostitution, in which federal prosecutors agreed to pursue charges. They came years after Mr. Trump and Epstein reportedly had a falling out in the early 2000s. One was addressed to Mr. Epstein's longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, while two were addressed to the author Michael Wolff. So in one email on April of 2011, Epstein told Maxwell, who was later convicted on charges related to facilitating his crimes, I want you to realize, folks, listen to this, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump, he added. Then he added that an unnamed victim spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. I have been thinking about that, Maxwell wrote back. And in an email from January of 2019, Epstein wrote to Mr. Wolf of Trump, of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. House Democrats, citing an unnamed whistleblower, said this week that Maxwell was preparing to formally ask Trump to commute her federal prison sentence. The emails were provided to the Oversight Committee, along with a larger tranche of documents of Mr. Epstein's estate that the panel requested as part of an investigation into Epstein and Maxwell, who's now serving 20 years on sex trafficking charges. The committee's staff redacted victims' names and any identifying information from the email. Because the full set of documents has not been released, it's not clear whether the emails have been excerpted from larger conversations that might have provided fuller context. Mr. Trump has condemned continuing questions about his handling of the case as a hoax perpetrated by Democrats. He's called Epstein a creep and has insisted that he never engaged in any wrongdoing with Maxwell. Both Trump and Epstein split their time between New York and Palm Beach, Florida, and they were friends in the 1990s and early 2000s. Their relationship appeared to fizzle out around 2004, though Trump and those close to him have offered different accounts of why. By one account, they fell out after trying to outbid each other on a Palm Beach real estate. Last summer, Trump said that Epstein had hired away spa attendants at Mar-a-Lago, his private club and resident in Palm Beach. That the girl was underage, by the way. Virginia Giuffre was underage.
Just so you know, this guy, Tennessee Brando, 862,000 subscribers. Huh? Tattooed freak. Let's go back.
And that's what he was talking about. He said that he had kicked Trump out of his golf club and that he believed one of the women was Virginia Giuffre, who said Maxwell recruited her into Epstein's sex ring while she was working at Mar-a-Lago as a teenager. At the time, Epstein emailed Maxwell in 2011 calling Trump the dog that didn't bark. Trump was a reality television star and New York tabloid celebrity who was years away from becoming the president. I'll go ahead and stop reading right there. But I just wonder, how long will this one stick before something happens and everybody looks the other way? And I know there's going to be people that'll say, well, they're taking all this out of context. But if that's just one thing that's hidden, and we've seen all these other things come out, then the question becomes, what else is hidden? I mean, this feels weird to me because MAGA was the conspiracy theorist. They were the one that was always questioning every single thing that was said. And now they're just getting slapped in the face with stuff every day, and they're refusing to question any of it. And that's the part that I will never fully understand. I am glad to see some people walking away, and we've covered people here on the channel like the UFC fighter, Bryce Mitchell, who was like these Epstein files. You know, that's one of the first reasons why I'm walking away, because he promised to release them, and now he looks guilty as shit. He looks guilty as shit. And it just keeps, these stories keep breaking, and we keep covering them, and then something else happens, and we look the other way. But with the government opening back up, we have got to get this to the table. We've got to vote. We've got to get these released. But do not be shocked if the Republicans are going to try every way in hell to block this one. And then they're going to turn around and say that they're very transparent with the American people. Well, folks, they're not. They never have been. This one here stinks to high heaven. And there's nothing else. I don't know anything else to say about it. It's one of those things where if I had been a Trump supporter, well, first of all, January 6th would have been the deal breaker for me. But let's say that I decided to stay hungover and drunk and get back to drinking again. There's no way in hell that I would wait for the deep state to be exposed only for him to look at me and tell me it was a Democratic hoax. I mean, if Obama had have ran on the Affordable Care Act, we're going to get health care for Americans. And then when he got elected, it's like, yeah, we're not going to focus on the health care. We're not interested in that. I said, but wait a minute, hold on. I thought that's what you ran on. Well, that's a Republican hoax. I would be raising hell on any microphone I could get my hands on. I would just be yelling it out into the wind. This is bullshit. If they really believed the things they said, they would be demanding the files.
So what do you think's going to happen, huh? I'll attach the link. Pass it along, and thanks for listening.